Okay, let's just dive right into this, because today we're bringing you an explainer on what is easily the strangest hypothetical animal matchup we've ever covered.
Seriously, I mean, a lion versus a tiger? That makes perfect sense. Polar bear versus grizzly? Absolutely, I am totally watching that explainer. But this? No way!
Right? On one side, we've got a tiny mammal armed with enormous front teeth, incredibly powerful jaws, and the attitude of an animal that constantly forgets exactly how small it is. I'm talking about the hamster.
And on my side, because I am 100% claiming this one, we have a fast, lightweight bird with wings, a hardcore seed-cracking beak, and one absolutely massive game-changing advantage: the Java Sparrow.
It is hamster versus Java Sparrow.
I just have to point out right now, my animal can literally fly.
Okay, we're definitely going to get to that. But first, we want to know, who do you think will win? If you had to lock it in right this second, are you picking the mammalian brawler or the aerial acrobat?
Go ahead and make your prediction right now, everyone. And let me just kindly remind you before you choose, my bird has an unbeatable flight advantage. I mean, how do you fight something you can't even touch?
Oh, just you wait. This whole scenario is so much stranger than it looks at first glance. Let's move on and actually set the scene for this. Section 1, an unlikely animal matchup. Because let's be real, these two are definitely not natural rivals. Picture this, an enclosed garden. The ground is soft, there are some low branches, rocks, a bit of grass, and plenty of room to move around. Keep in mind, everything in this explainer is based strictly on real anatomy and natural behavioral instincts. So, an adult Syrian hamster is just wandering slowly through the grass, sniffing around, and then its tiny paws stop. A Java Sparrow lands just a few feet away. The bird tilts its little head. The hamster looks up, the Java Sparrow looks down. Total silence. Honestly, this doesn't look like an epic battle. It looks like two pets who accidentally double-booked a play date. True, but then the Java Sparrow makes the first move. It hops sideways. The hamster tracks it with its eyes. Another hop. The hamster pivots. And then, whoosh! The Java Sparrow launches straight into the air. The hamster spins around, just completely confused. Good luck catching that. The bird effortlessly glides right over the hamster, turns around, and lands right behind it. The hamster turns again, but the Java Sparrow just casually hops away. Okay, I'll admit it, this is starting to look a little embarrassing for my guy. See? Team Java Sparrow all the way. Just watch. The hamster charges in. The Java Sparrow instantly takes off. Total miss. The hamster scrambles around, but the bird has already landed somewhere else. Another charge, and it's gone again. The ground-bound mammal is looking completely helpless right now. Which brilliantly illustrates my point. So, how exactly is your hamster planning to actually win this?
Hey, I'm getting there. Yes, if the Java Sparrow is allowed to just fly away forever, it doesn't have to fight at all. That is for sure its absolute greatest defensive advantage.
Literally unbeatable evasion.
But the question in this explainer isn't who is best at running away, it's who would win if they actually fought. And when forced into an actual physical confrontation, the whole dynamic completely shifts.
Let's look at Section 2, the heavyweight advantage. We need to take a much closer look at this hamster. What's really fascinating here is the biology of those teeth. Hamsters are rodents, which means their incisors grow continuously their entire lives. And remember, we're not talking about a fragile little dwarf hamster here. This is a robust, heavily built Syrian hamster packing a very serious biological weapon.
Oh, wow, right. They're literally built for gnawing through some incredibly tough materials.
Seeds, thick plant stalks, really hard foods, exactly. And let's not forget the objects they definitely weren't supposed to chew on, like the thick plastic of their cage, or the water bottle nozzle, or that really expensive toy you just bought them yesterday.
So true. Their jaws are just relentless, spot on.
Those continuously growing incisors are the hamster's absolute most dangerous asset in this matchup. And here's where things get really crazy. Unlike the Java Sparrow's beak, which, yeah, is great for cracking seeds, the hamster combines those snapping jaws with a totally massive weight advantage. Wait, hang on. Massive? How much heavier are we actually talking about here? You might want to reconsider your prediction. Underneath all those pretty fluffy feathers, a typical adult Java Sparrow only weighs a few tens of grams. Meanwhile, a Syrian hamster can weigh several times as much in actual body mass.
No way. Several times heavier?
Yes. The bird just looks so much bigger because of its feathers, its wingspan, and how it stands upright. It's a total optical illusion. Underneath all that fluff, there is very little actual mass. Wow, okay. That literally changes everything. I genuinely didn't realize the physical disparity was that extreme. My bird isn't nearly as physically imposing as its feathers make it look.
Exactly. The mammalian brawler has a huge heavyweight advantage. But hey, the fight isn't over yet. Let's get right back to the action.
Moving into Section 3, the battle turns. Here comes the second encounter.
Okay, the tension is really spiky now. The Java Sparrow flutters down from a low branch. It lands right on the soft ground.
The hamster turns to face it, but this time it doesn't just blindly charge in. It's actually learning.
The bird hops closer. One step, then another. It is hopping directly into the danger zone.
The Java Sparrow suddenly goes on the offensive. It pecks right at the hamster.
The hamster jerks backward. Another peck, miss.
And then the hamster lunges, but the Java Sparrow is so fast, it just jumps sideways. The hamster's teeth snap shut on completely empty air.
The Java Sparrow flaps upward, but instead of flying away, it drops right back down and pecks again. And this time, boom, it connects. The hamster recoils. Did you expect that? The Java Sparrow is far from helpless here. That thick, conical beak is purpose-built for crushing rock-hard seeds, so a well-placed peck really, really hurts. Plus, the bird has a huge tactical advantage: reach. It can strike forward with its head while keeping its delicate little body safely out of range of those terrifying incisors.
Fair point. So your bird has speed, it has flight, and it has reach.
Exactly. Would you like to switch to Team Sparrow yet?
Not a chance. You just watch what happens next.
Actually, I want to pause for a second and ask the audience directly. What would you do if you were the hamster right now? Would you keep hopelessly chasing a flying target that just keeps pecking you in the face? Or would you wait for it to come to you?
Oh no, I think I see where this is going.
Let's see how this plays out in the next slide.
The Java Sparrow hops forward again, but the hamster holds its ground. It doesn't chase. The bird pecks. The hamster simply turns its head away, dodging it. The bird steps closer and closer.
It's totally a trap.
The Java Sparrow attacks one more time, and boom, the hamster just explodes forward. Snap.
The Java Sparrow jumps. It's almost fast enough. Almost. But the hamster catches a mouthful of feathers. The bird is flapping violently in an absolute panic. Feathers are pulling free, and the Java Sparrow barely manages to escape up onto a low branch. Whoa, that was way, way too close.
The momentum just completely shifted. The hamster figured out the bait and strike technique. So, audience, be totally honest with us. Who are you choosing now? Both of these animals are taking major risks. Both have had incredibly close calls. Have your predictions shifted at all?
I'm definitely still Team Java Sparrow, but my heart is absolutely pounding. The problem is exactly what you mentioned earlier. The Java Sparrow gets to control when contact happens, but every single time it steps into biting distance, it takes a massive risk because of that huge weight disparity. It basically has to fight a perfect fight without ever getting grabbed.
Which is incredibly difficult to sustain, and perfection is exactly what the Java Sparrow needs to survive this. This brings us to Section 4, the final mistake. Just one fatal error. The Java Sparrow drops back down. Maybe it's defending its territory, maybe it feels threatened, we don't really know. But it chooses not to fly away. It pecks, the hamster dodges. Another peck, the hamster backs up a little, and the Java Sparrow actually follows it. Oh no, it's getting way too confident. And then the bird makes one fatal mistake. It stays on the ground for just half a second too long. Step 1, the lunge. The hamster dives directly underneath the bird's downward strike. The Java Sparrow desperately tries to spread its wings, but the hamster is already there. Contact. Oh no! The bird just erupts into frantic motion. Its wings are hammering against the hamster, its tiny feet are kicking, the beak is striking repeatedly, wildly at the hamster's face. And the Java Sparrow almost gets free. It manages to break loose, flies a few feet away, and hits the ground. But they're both hurt now. The hamster relentlessly advances again. The Java Sparrow hops backward. It lands a lightning-quick peck. The hamster recoils. Another peck, but this time, the hamster doesn't retreat. Step 2, the pin. The hamster pushes through, secures a devastating solid bite, and drags the frantically fighting, much lighter bird straight into the dirt. The Java Sparrow explodes into this desperate counterattack, wings beating wildly, feet pushing, beak striking, and for a split second, the hamster actually loosens its grip. Go, go, go! Almost, but the hamster violently shifts its body weight directly over the bird. And this right here is the brutal biological reality of the pin. The Java Sparrow can no longer use its absolute greatest weapon. Flight completely disappears from the equation.
Because its wings just don't have enough room to generate any lift underneath all that heavy mammalian mass.
Exactly. The weight advantage is just devastating. The bird pecks, it twists, it pushes, but the hamster has the dominant physical position and vastly superior mass. One more powerful bite with those heavy incisors, and the struggle ends. Silence.
Section 5, the decisive factor. It all came down to close-range grappling. And that is the entire story of this matchup. Early on, the Java Sparrow absolutely had all the advantages: better escapability, aerial mobility, and the power to completely dictate the pace of the engagement. But the decisive factor was the close quarters grappling. Once the fight became close range and the hamster secured a solid grip, the sheer difference in body mass sealed the win. Flight is totally useless if you're pinned to the ground. In this specific scenario, the hamster takes the crown.
Okay, I concede. But you have to admit, if you change literally one single thing, you could completely rewrite the ending of this fight.
Oh, absolutely. What if we swapped the Syrian out for a tiny dwarf hamster instead? The weight difference basically vanishes, and the sparrow probably dominates that fight.
Right. Or what if the garden was completely open with unlimited vertical space? The sparrow just flies into a high tree, and the hamster literally never catches it. Or what if that very first sharp beak strike had hit the hamster right in the eye?
Exactly. Different individuals, different environments, or just one single lucky strike completely changes the biological outcome.
Which brings us to a very, very serious point that we need to make. Do not put your pets together to test this out.
Definitely not. Like we said at the very start, hamsters and Java sparrows are not natural rivals. This entire explainer was purely a hypothetical scientific thought experiment. A forced encounter in real life would result in severe stress, horrific injuries, or even death for either animal. Keep your pets safe and keep them separated.
So, were you Team Hamster or Team Java Sparrow? Did you successfully predict the winner before we got to the end?
It really does make you wonder, though, out there in the wild, is it always the fastest escape artist who survives, or is it the one who just knows how to throw their weight around when it really counts?
That is a great question. Think about that the next time you look at a tiny fluffy pet. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next explainer.